Hey, welcome to the practice. We'll be working on splits today. So standing splits, we'll be doing frog pose, lizard lunge, and kind of working down to like a forward split. If you can't do them, this is a great way to just work into that area. Yeah. So if you want to join me in the back of the mat, we'll begin with the breath technique, and we'll begin from there. So you can sit lotus style, that'd be crossing the legs. You can sit upon your heels, or you can take a hero's pose. Seeing how that feels. Knees come together, heels come towards the outside of your hips. Allow the glutes to find the mat. This might be kind of early. If you got any knee pain, I'd suggest just sitting in lotus pose. Or perhaps just going back to just sitting on the knees. So let's just center ourselves, finding ourselves in that seat. Coming to the center of the breath, connecting to it. Extending through the spine. Getting into deep the inhales, extending the exhales. Begin to draw the breath down towards the belly, expanding the rib cage, and then expanding the belly. Restricting the breath slightly as it leaves on the exhale. We're going to do an alternate nostril breathing technique, Nadi Shodhana. So you can create the form with your hand, which would be folding in middle finger and index towards the center of the palm, bringing thumb out, pinky and ring finger together. We inhale fully, bringing thumb to right nostril. We exhale out of the left side. Inhale through left side. Plugging left side with ring and pinky. Exhale out of the right. Inhale through right side. Closing right nostril. Inhale through right. Switching sides. Exhale out of left side. Inhale left side. Switching sides. Exhale right side. Inhale right side. Switching sides. Exhale, left side. Inhale, left side. Switching sides. Exhale, right. Inhale, right. Release hand, hold breath at top. Feel the mind expanding. Controlled exhale. Then inhale, reach hands to sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, hands to sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, hands to sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, stretch arms out wide to a T, flip palms to the sky. We're going to work into our shoulders just for a moment. Extend through the spine and then begin to create circles with the fingertips. You can begin to broaden these circles ever so slightly, creating the diameter wider and wider. You can go as slowly as you like, ideally keeping palms facing the sky. Stay connected with the breath, maybe even closing the eyes. Let's begin to diminish the size of the circle. As we come down to small circles, let's reach our hands up towards the sky, then bring palms to heart center. Elbows at our sides, we open our palms towards the sky. Then begin to roll your fingertips back towards the inner elbow. And then begin to open the palm, fingertips pointing down towards the mat. Roll the fingertips back to point towards the inner elbow. And then open them up, fingertips move to point towards the mat. A few more times, you can move as gently and as slowly as you like. As we focus the attention on the movement, maintain control of the steady breath. Bringing palms to face sky. Let's rotate them to face each other. Then begin to point the fingertips down, keeping arms parallel. And then begin to point the fingertips up. Creating gentle movements in the wrists. Always come back to the breath, the focus therein. From here, we'll move forward Coming in to a tabletop position. Let's roll through a few cat-cows just to warm up the spine. You could always create circular motions with the torso. Just creating a wave effect. Noticing here where there might be any pain, maybe in the lower back if there's tightness. This is a moment to check in with it, see how it feels to work into those areas. Maybe that means moving side to side, up and down. Keep the movement fluid. And just explore the spinal cord. Allow the head and neck to move freely as well. Coming back to neutral, we're coming into plank pose. Feet stretched back, knees lift off the mat. You can keep them down if that's what you feel like you need to do. We're going to find some activation just really quickly in the core. Notice how it feels to press into the palms to activate the shoulders. Tailbone is tucked down, and the heels are reaching towards the edge of the mat. Core is strong. There's length in the neck and the spine. Hips reach up. We all meet downward facing dog. This is another place where we have the opportunity to explore in the beginning of the practice, recognizing where there might be any tightness, maybe new pain. Sometimes we'll have a strain and not actually recognize that it's there until we move around that area of the body. So many times our habits can keep us stagnant. And in stagnation, we are not aware of the pains, the ailments that are actually within us throughout the day. So these beginning postures is a moment for you to just reflect and recognize where you're at currently, how your body feels. From here, let's begin to walk our hands ever so gently back to our feet. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Bend knees, press through feet, reach the sky. Big inhale. Exhale, palms to heart center. Leaning over into left foot, we lift the right knee up, parallel with the mat. Take a hold of right knee with left hand. We're twisting open to the right side. Testing some balance here. Working into our legs, we find a long line through the root of the foot and out of the crown of the head. Switching sides, right foot comes down, find the balance, and then lift left leg up off mat, and a twist open to the left side. You could always look towards the ground if your balance is a little bit unstable. Bring left leg down, reach towards sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, we walk out, downward facing dog. Reach hips high. Let's roll through a few downward facing dogs to plank, back to down dog, just to warm up the spine and activate the upper body. So whenever you're ready, let's sync breath with movement, rolling through the spine into plank, exhaling. Inhale, hips reach back towards the sky. Press and reach down through the feet, extend through the legs. Moving on from here, coming into a lizard lunge, Utthana Pristhasana. So bring the hips up, inhaling, downward dog, and then we're going to bring the left foot to the outside of the left hand. Keeping right knee up off the mat, we begin to rock forward and back. You can roll up onto the toes of that left foot, and then extend long, creating length through left leg. I like to come up onto my fingertips here. It just helps me get my torso a little bit up off the mat so my leg can move more freely. We're really working into that left leg, but also working into that left hip. So notice as we rock forward and back, the hips are actually staying fairly low so that there's more rotation in that left hip. You might even notice that you're getting a little bit of stretch in that front right hip flexor as well. This is preparing ourselves for splits. We're warming ourselves up for that movement. Alright, so left knee comes up over top left foot. We're going to drop right knee down. You can untuck those right toes. Plant the right hand strong. Left hand comes to left knee. Then begin to open up that left leg. We're coming onto the knife edge of the left foot. Hips drop low, chest rolls high. And begin to press ever so gently on that left knee. Left toes stay flexed towards left knee. You don't want any pain there. The hips are drawing forward, even ever so subtly down towards the mat. We bring the left knee up and over left foot. Plant left hand down. Curl right toes under. Lift the right knee up off. Back to lizard lunge. Utthana Pristhasana. Find the strength. Find the length through the spine. Hold there, or if you want to take a little bit more of a challenge, we're going to bend the elbows slightly, hook left knee just above left elbow, and then begin to move down into a chaturanga, extending left leg out to our side. You can maintain lizard lunge. We'll all meet chaturanga. Lower belly down, coming into cobra. Extend through the toes. extend through the spine. Back body's activated, glutes are activated. Let's begin to roll our spine up ever so gently, creating a slight back bend. And then we come back, curling toes, pressing into hands, child's pose. Hips come down to heels, extend through the fingertips. Remember to connect with that breath. We won't be here long. We're going to roll forward, coming into tabletop position. Curl toes if they're not already. Lift knees, hips reach to the sky, downward facing dog. Stay steady, stay strong. Extend through the legs, reach through the arms. Connect with that solid breath, that consistent presence. Moving on, we're coming to the other side. So reach hips high on the inhale. And then we're going to bring right foot outside, right hand. Uttan Prasthasana, lizard lunge. Continuing the flow, you can come up onto those fingertips, and then we begin to rock forward and back over that right foot. Maybe even coming onto those right toes, if that feels right for you. As the hips begin to move ever so subtly, ever so gently. We're creating movement, we're creating fluidity. We're touching those parts of our body so that they become aware. So when we work into a deeper stretch, they'll have already been warmed up and responsive, so that we aren't so tight when we work into those deep stretches. Stagnation creates rigid behaviors, and rigid behaviors create tension within the body. That is why we do this daily. It is a daily practice. It's because we are constantly not only washing out the day, but creating space for new movement. It's one thing to catch up on the things you have to do, but it's a whole nother thing to work beyond that. Drop left knee down, untuck left toes. Begin to bring right hand to right knee and open up that right knee ever so gently. It's why I've been told so many times to create healthy habits. They may seem mundane, sometimes even challenging to be consistent in. But once they become ingrained, once they become part of your life, part of what you do, part of your habits, the challenge begins to die away. And the habits then become part of your character. So you're no longer falling behind in negative patterns and negative lifestyle, feeling sick, feeling tired. But rather you're feeling energized, you're feeling vital. Health becomes part of you rather than something that you're attempting to obtain. And with every nuance, you're not falling back, but you're actually moving forward. So that when a challenge comes, you already have a solid foundation that you're building upon. You're not working from a hangover. You're working from a well-maintained system. Alright, we're coming back into Uttan Prasthasana, lizard lunge, lifting left knee up off mat. You may maintain that long spine, reaching through left heel. If you want to join me, bending elbows, we'll hook right knee just above that right elbow, and then chaturanga arms, extending the right leg out to the side. Coming back, we enter in chaturanga, belly's down. You can stick with cobra or come up upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Reach hip high, reach the hips high. Strong in the plant of feet and arms. Moving on, we're coming into frog pose. Mandugasana. So how we do this, there's two different ways we could enter into this. You can come down, child's pose legs, bring the knees down. Flip the toes to face outward. Scoot the knees out to the sides of the mat. Then begin to drop the hips down towards the mat. Gentle bend in the spine. Feel free to lower the belly as need be. Remember to activate the glutes to protect the low spine if you are creating a back bend shape. Toes curling towards the knees. Hips are dropping down. And maybe even draw the knees a little closer towards the hands. Working into those front hips. The insides of those hips. Insides of the quads. Now from here we're gonna create some gentle movement. So bringing the hips back up. We kind of come up into a tabletop position, but the knees are wider than the hips. And then we begin to bring the torso forward, leading with the hips, and then bring them down towards the mat, almost into an upward facing dog shape. But yet the knees are wider than the hips. Almost as if you're creating frog-like legs. And we rock forward and back. As if we're coming from tabletop into frog pose, also known as Mandukasana. Connecting back with the breath. We're going to flow a few more times back and forth before moving on. Coming closer to the end of the practice. It's a gentle practice. Ideally, the end will be the most challenging part. We'll be sitting with that pain in that stretch. So enjoy the subtle movements, the gentle aspects of these postures. Alright, coming back up, we find ourselves entering into a tabletop position. Knees come in, find themselves underneath the hips. Hips sit back, and then reach them up towards sky, downward facing dog. Find that connection with the breath. Almost towards the end now. Let's walk our feet towards the front of the mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Coming into flat back, we plant our hands. Right leg lifts up off the mat. Stretch it long. Torso folds forward towards the left toes. We extend through that right leg. And we begin to reach it up ever so slightly. Hips are parallel with each other. If you want to make a little bit more of a challenge, you could bring your hands towards that left leg. Standing splits, we will hold this just for a few moments. Remember, the breath is always there. It's a gentle practice, but in that subtleness, we still find a challenge. We still find some heat. Find that shake that will build us. It will bring us into newness of life. As comfortable as it may be at times, it is often good to enter into a challenge, enter into that state of mind, of being, where you yourself are uncomfortable just for a moment. Almost done with that right side. Let's bring that right foot down. Inhale into flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Bend knees, press through feet, clear the slate and reach hands to the sky. Exhale to heart center. Find our center here, connect with the breath. We're moving towards the other side in just a moment. So mentally prepare yourself to be in the moment. Not thinking of what's to come. Being centered in the here and the now. Let's reach hands towards the sky on the inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Flat back. Inhale. We're going to lift the left leg up off the mat. Stretching long and strong through that left leg. Lifting it ever so slightly as it begins to open up. Notice the strength that's coming towards you. Notice the pain and begin to work in the pain. The challenge that we face is necessary for our growth. It is necessary for the walk that we choose to walk in. No one who is being true to themselves is able to avoid challenge. Rather, it is almost always that we face the challenge, that we face the pain, we face the hardship, the thing that we tend to naturally avoid. But when we become true and look towards that which is our real desire from within, it often leads us to these places of being uncomfortable. So in this uncomfortable place, we find a sense of presence, a sense of meaning, a sense of purpose. Recognize that we are here. Find a peace within it. Maintain balance in the hips. Begin to bring that left foot down towards right. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Bend knees, press through feet. Clearing the slate. Inhale, reaching high towards sky. And exhale, palms to heart center. Find this moment to ground yourself through your feet. The healing in the breath. One more posture to work through on both sides. Be more passive, however, it should be still challenging. Stick with the breath. Stick with the moment we're in. Experience the pain and allow it to become part of you. We're going to step the right leg back, coming into a straddled stance. Allow the legs to extend, finding length through the torso. We're going to begin to point the toes towards the back of the mat. Coming into a full splits. However you would like to do it, you can drop left knee. It's the best way to start. Extending the right leg out. Begin to curl the right toes towards the right knee. You can bring the hands down, framing that right foot. Hips are balanced up over left knee. You can stay there. Maintain length through the spine. And then if it's not that intense of a stretch, begin to walk the left knee back. Whenever you hit that place of pain and tension in the right leg, come out of it ever so gently. Find the breath. And then slowly breathe and work into that tension. We're going to hold these postures, the last postures of the practice, a little longer than usual. This is a moment to find a little tension, to find a little pain in a passive, somewhat passive posture, so that our mind can find a meditative state within the strain. Coming back to the breath, allowing the body to shake, allowing any of that tension just to leave the body as the mind stays at peace. You coming back to the breath, coming back to your center. Maybe draw that right pinky toe towards your chest or head. Steadying the breath. always being called forward, being called on. There seems to always be an upward call. And each day we are offered the opportunity to step in it. So often we are surrounded by comforts, surrounded by people that hold us back from being who we can actually become. These normalities that surround us, which actually aren't normal at all to our human being. Yet culture has accepted them and ingrained it in us so deeply that this is what it means to be a human being, or what it means to create friendship or be in community, or this is what it means to be successful. When we're told how to live our life, we forget to actually ask within us, the spirit that dwells within us, what is the way that we are supposed to walk? And culture can sell us this, that, and the other thing, but if it is not true to who we are, who our inner self is calling us to be, then are we really walking out our purpose? It might seem comfortable, it might seem easy. Is the soul, is the spirit within you calling you to that comfort, to that ease? Perhaps it's asking you to confront the pain, to dwell in that uncomfortable place just for a little while until those uncomfortable things become so ingrained that the habits are no longer something that you strain for, but that they become actually part of you. Almost done. If you need to go a little deeper, feel free to do so. Allow the pain to be, in a sense, consumed. Alright, coming out of this side, we begin to walk or draw that left knee in. Bringing our torso up. We can extend through that right leg. If you want a slight challenge here, maybe even bring that right foot up off the mat, creating a little bit of a balance. See if you can keep that balance. You drop that right foot down. You're going to bend that right knee. Lift the left knee up off the mat. Come into a crescent pose just for a moment. And then we're flipping open back into straddle. Feet are pointing towards the right side of the mat. And just extend through the legs, clearing the slate, extend through the core, extend through the crown of the head. Find that breath. Find your center. And recognize how it feels in this in-between. To be able to come out of all that tension, to come out of all that shake. And to be free from it just for a moment and realize, oh, it wasn't so bad. The pain ended fairly fast, and now I'm here back in this blissful state. And now the body's healing on its own. It's actually doing the work for you. So now that there's no pain or tension, you're actually being healed in those places that you chose to disrupt just for a moment, to create strength, to create flexibility. We're going to begin to switch sides now, rotating the toes to point towards front of mat. Going through variations, dropping right knee down, extending left foot out. Ideally, this entire time you should keep the spine long. If you need blocks, those can always help. Maybe coming up onto the fingertips or the knuckles. So once you find that first variation, right hip over right knee, begin to walk that right knee back to a place that feels right for you. Connecting with the breath. Try not to think about how long we'll be here. But the meditative practice, the practice that we are practicing on this mat, the idea is to take this meditative state and go into our lives with it as well. So we are learning how to become a person that is dwelling in pain and also at peace. So when you're at work and your shift's almost done and you have to have one more task that you didn't expect to be there, instead of entering into your emotional state and becoming angry or frustrated, you come back to that breath and realize, hey, I can work through this. I will make it through this. I'm coming back to the present. I'm realizing what my purpose is for this moment, what I am responsible for doing, what is my part to play, and then begin to carry it out with that peace so that your inner state isn't disrupted. Because when your inner state becomes disrupted, you begin to disrupt those energies that are around you. Sometimes it can be good. But the majority of the time, outbursts of anger, wrath, discontentment in the work that we've been given to do, lead us away from the purpose that we are called into. Find that pinky toe draws towards that left shoulder. The hips are lowering with every breath, ever so slightly. And to think we are almost done with this practice. We are coming towards the final end. That's when we rest. That's when we have finished the work. We've not only done an external practice, but we are mentally changing. We are working from the heart out. We're learning how to steward our physical self so that when we enter into the world, we are able to conduct ourselves according to our own calling to that truth within us, not being swayed by emotional states or external influences. We're being honest. No matter how painful it may seem, we stay in it. All have a consciousness, and we all hear that consciousness day to day. At times it could feel burdensome, yet the consciousness is something that I've noticed to actually be of greater benefit than so many other things when it comes to guidance. When it tells us to do something that we do not wish to do, it is speaking to us for a reason. And that reason is usually for our own benefit. Allow that right heel to draw towards the sky. It tends to drift inward. Almost there. Stay steady with the breath. You point the left toes out. Then begin to draw that left foot underneath left knee. Scooting right heel, right knee inwards. Low lunge. Or forget the balance. If you want to join me in a short little balance sequence, we bring our hips up over right knee. Goal post the arms. Maybe lift that left heel up off the mat. That's a difficult one. Alright, you bring that down. Coming up, crescent pose just for a moment. And from here, we're actually going to bring our hands down, frame that left foot. Step right foot forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, hips come down. That is right. We have reached the end. Hips sit down. You can do some final spinal twists if you wish. However, for this practice, I'd like us to take potentially, if you wish to do so, bring the heels together, reclined butterfly pose. Allowing the knees to be drawn towards the mat. So extend through the spine. You can bring one hand to heart, one hand to belly. And this would be the final posture I'll leave you in for this practice. We did go longer than I expected. So you can stay here as long as you want. Remember to focus and attune your attention towards the breath. This is a chance to meditate on that aspect, the balance of this blissful state at the end right now. And then as well, the struggle, the pain, the shakiness that we were just in not long ago. Too much of one thing is never good, but the balance of both is necessary. You need this comfort as well. You need this relaxation. You need to feel at peace, at home within your body and upon this planet. You're born into a world that you did not choose to be in. And as much as culture can continue to tell us that we do not belong, or that we would have to obtain financial excess in order to make a home for ourselves here, in order for us to find a place here, we must come back to truth. to heal and realize that this has always been a home for us. Even though it's temporary, we are still to dwell within peace here. Thank you for joining me today. I'll leave you here. Namaste.